I'm Robert Rehak, a special envoy for Holocaust, interfaith dialogue and freedom of religion. Right now we are in Trautmannsdorf Palais, in the lower part of the palais, in the place that you can see the cells. It's actually prison. Why it's prison here? Because first this was like Baroque Palais, but later it was converted into the state institution which did the re-education of the problematic people, like the prostitutes or homeless people from the street, and they forced them to learn some occupation like shoemaker or others. And if there were some problems, in behavior or somebody tried to escape, he or she was put into these cells, into this prison. The dark history of this place is from the communist times, because after the communist takeover in 1948, the communists took this place and converted this place into the one of the headquarters of the secret police, so-called STB. It was like the Czech version of KGB. So you can imagine that here in those cells were people who were dissidents against the regime, and they were imprisoned here. It was very difficult because there is no heating, there is no toilet. The people were thrown there, sometimes after hearings. They were beaten and they were on the ground. Maybe they poured them with the cold water, closed the door, and they were here for days, maybe weeks, and maybe a longer time, and they didn't know when they are. Myself, I also suffered in the time before the Velvet Revolution. I studied at the high school. It was veterinary high school in Hradec Králové. It's a town 100 kilometers from Prague to the east. And then I was interested in religion. And one day I went to hear a lecture about religion. Then I came back. And next day, in front of the school, I saw 2 police cars, and I was shocked because I thought somebody was killed here. No, the cars were there because of me. Actually, somebody reported that to the authorities that I went for a lecture about religion, and they sent 2 police cars to investigate the issue. And the deputy director of the school came to me, and she told me, it was a lady, she told me, Robert Rehak, you can't do such a things in the socialist school. We will kick up you out of the school. So I was in danger, because like for young student to be kicked off the school, it's something tragic. But I said, I can't do anything. I'm interested in those things, and I can't change it. Luckily, it was the year 1989, and the Velvet Revolution started. And I went to Prague, I collected the posters, I brought them back to my school. So, and then the revolution was successful. I'm very happy for it, because if it wouldn't happen, I would probably, until today, I would be working somewhere on the street or print house or something. After the revolution, the situation changed. Even the director, the new director of the school, came to me and asked me, Robert, could you make a lecture for us about religion? And I said, of course, it will be my pleasure. This unique experience that we have here in the Czech Republic gives us much more understanding for those people who are in the similar situation today, in those countries where there is still totalitarian regime. So we have this unique experience, and we have the responsibility to help those people, and we can do it much better because we have the much deep-going understanding than many people in the West. In this context, we should to speak also about the resilience. Today, it's the time of crisis. We are in the middle of the war in Ukraine. We are after the COVID crisis, we are in front of the deep economic crisis. In this time, we should to concentrate on building resilience. Resilience for the time of crisis. And this building resilience is also connected with the spiritual things. This is our project about. We know that if you want to survive, if you want to get through difficult situations and the time of crisis, you should build your own physical but also spiritual resilience against difficult things. In order to increase my physical resilience, I do a lot of sportive activities. I cycle to my office every morning in every weather, actually. I'm lucky that the path to my office can be through parks, and I almost avoid all streets. Not only that, I do a lot of sport, and I try to set myself into the discomfort. Also, I don't avoid stress, because I can be distracted by stress, or I can be stronger. There is the saying, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. This is actually my saying too. But the physical resilience, it's not enough. It must be always connected with the inner one, with the spiritual resilience also. And actually our project try to look what are the ways how to get really much better spiritual resilience in order to survive the times of crisis. And one of the answers is that we should actually concentrate on building resilience, both, as I said, physical and psychical and spiritual too, from the young age. That means to work with the children and not to do it alone. Try to build the resilience not as an individual, but in a group of people or collective of the people. It could be also church, and also to try to avoid the misuse of religion. This is the other side, because we live in the time when the religion is actually misused for political and other reasons, and in combination with disinformation, it's something which is very dangerous, which can make very dangerous situation, that people even in the society and also in the churches can be totally confused. So in our project we try to combine those two things, building resilience and fight against misuse of religion, and create tools how we can achieve much stronger people, citizens, people also in the churches, believers in the churches on one side. Other side, how to produce some rules or help, maybe like instruction, how to recognize the misuse of religion and how to be protected against the misuse. Definitely you can learn, you can learn and you can increase your resilience. If you start maybe as a boy or girl scout in the young age, and as a young person you are in the tent 2 weeks, in every weather you should to find your way in very difficult situation, you should be responsible, you can learn from young age to be much more resilient. Also, you can learn it if you don't avoid discomfort and difficult situation. If you actually, if there is some task that you know that you could do it, you don't run away, you try it slowly, step by step. This is the most important, to go step by step. And also, you can learn spiritual resilience in the same way. That means not to avoid difficult situation, but try to set goals like one by one and try to achieve them. The resilience, it means, but also that your spiritual way of life, maybe your religiosity or your religion is healthy. We live in the world that a lot of people are very confused. They are actually overthrown by disinformation and very strange ideas and concepts, which actually brings them to the very danger path of misunderstanding the whole situation. And for those people, it's also very important that they will be not lost and abandoned. We live in a little bit different world, I would say, than the people who believe in very fantastic even theories about how works this world. And sometimes we tend to think that we are better and to think about them they are stupid. Or we try to communicate with them on like rational basis, like you are stupid that you think that or that. But maybe the other way, that means that we accept the people as they are, we don't let them go, or we don't think about them, they are just stupid, is the better way. That means we don't leave them, we still try to communicate with them, but on other level. Maybe on level, what is your source of informations? How you think this is the truth, from where do you have it? And then the people would say, for example, I have it from Facebook or from another media. And the other question should be, do you think that it's good to have just one source of information? Is it not good to compare it, to make your own view? So the dialogue is also the way how to build the critical thinking, which is the crucial, and how to combat these difficult things like disinformation or misuse of religion. We live in an age where the manipulation or disinformation is not only interest of group of people, but it started to be also interest of whole states. And I will not mention Russia or China or any other state. In this situation, it's very important what will be the reply. And the reply should be on the level of the person, but also on the level of the state. And we see that in Europe, we've started to do something. The first thing is the monitoring. But the monitoring is not enough. If there is a state that have a whole structure of institutions that they are actually creating the disinformation, and they try to make destabilization of values and the whole system in our region of Europe. So the answer could be not only on the level of state that we will just monitor it. We should build similar structures in order to combat those things. For example, I could imagine that we really would create institutions that fight with disinformation, not by creating another disinformation, but just speaking the truth. The truth could be the best way how to fight all those campaigns and actually intentions by those state bodies. On the personal level, it's very important first to be aware of this. That means we are manipulated all the time, and we are manipulated in good way, bad way, but actually all the time. It's not only that there are influences from some countries that I would not mention, but also by companies. The algorithms of the social networks are actually built in a way that should make polarization of the society and have to influence our meaning, the way how we think. We think we have free choice, but we choose between the things that the algorithms are giving to us. And the problem is when the algorithms know us better than we know ourselves, as Yuval Harari actually published many books about this topic. The first thing is to be aware of what's going on. And the second is to develop the critical thinking. I think that the most important is the critical thinking, and this should be also applied on believing people connected to the religion. This is the topic of our project. Connected with spirituality and help to people use religion as a source of resilience.